ladies and gentlemen, Renault, flushed with success from 2010 of having a top-selling car, the Renault Megane of all time, decided to bring in something a bit more fun. Renault Wind. Well, it is a Clio in disguise. But what a disguise! Isn't it gorgeous? It's a beautiful looking thing. The roof comes down in approximately 12 seconds. That's what they say. They actually had a competition in the UK, people to strip in the same little time. It comes up in about the same time too. But the cunning part of the roof is that it doesn't actually intrude on the boot. The roof, when folded away, is actually here. Okay, so the boot space stays the same. The lid actually fits in to two parts of the boot lid like a sandwich. Very smart. Very, very smart. Plus, I like the door handles. Pillarless windows. And when you're in it and you want to raise the roof, you push a little button. The lid flips open. And about 12 seconds later, the roof comes smacking down top of your head. It doesn't really. And then you just pull a handle inside, it's locked, and that's it. And to drop it again, just push it down. Lid opens. Now I'm sure some of you internet people out there will be able to measure the length of time it took to film that, and you'll find out it's about 12 seconds. It's very quick. You can't open it when you're driving. It won't let you, because it acts like a parachute obviously on top of the car, so it probably wouldn't be the smartest thing in the world to open when you're driving along. Okay, the wind. I'll just roll up the windows here to make sure you can still hear me when I'm talking. It's not that it's very breezy in the cabin, and it's not. It's actually not that breezy at all. Now, I've heard some tall people complain about hitting their heads off the roof over speed bumps. I haven't had that. The seats aren't decent height adjustable, but it doesn't really matter. I still seem to be able to find a good seating position. My one complaint would be the steering wheel's a bit big. It's a large steering wheel, you know, it is actually quite large in front of you. But that said, it's actually very comfy to drive. Plenty of leg room in the front. And you get a little shelf behind you to stick a few bits and pieces in, and a decent sized glove box. But the key point of this is that it's a folding hardtop. And even though it folds up, it doesn't intrude into the boot space, so you don't lose anything. You still have the same boot space you had before. No difference. Now, there's not many companies could bring in a folding metal hardtop car for mid-20s, which is what it's priced at. It's about 25,000-26,000 euro, depending on the spec that you pick and what you want in, whether you want leather seats, heated, and all that sort of stuff. You can have heated seats, you can have all sorts of things in the car if you want. It's entirely up to you. The camera's very shaky for some reason. But the wind fits in, for me, into a particular sort of bracket. Young person, up and coming, wants something really different. This is really different. You're not going to get many of these on the road. There's not many people going to be able to buy a 2-seat anything these days. They all want to be able to buy a 4-seat, big boot. Yeah, boring. This, I have headroom of 50. I can see a plane flying over us. But the headroom in this is massive with the roof down. And on a day like today, yes, it's February. Yes, it's 8 degrees outside. And yes, I'm warm. I'm not particularly cold. The heater's brilliant. The heater's very good in actual fact. I don't know if that heater knows that the roof is open or closed or what. But when you're tooting around the place, the 1.2 litre engine that's under the bonnet does a fine job of getting you where you want to go. It's straight out of a Clio, so I can't see there's going to be a big issue. And in white, like it is, it does attract, well, a certain amount of attention. You do get a certain amount of attention from people when you're driving around in a white car anyway, but when you're driving around in a Renault Wind white car with no roof on in February, you do get sometimes the wrong sort of attention. Now, people tell you it's a hairdresser's car, it's whatever kind of car it is. It can be whatever it wants to be. I don't care, to be honest with you, because when you get fed up, or you get too cold, or it starts to rain, all you need to do is pull in, and 12 seconds later, you've got a hardtop car. And I'm going to do it. Watch. Pull in right here. You have to be stopped completely. Do this. and 12 seconds after you pull in, you got a roof on. Pull a handle, twist it, press the two buttons to push back up the windows, which are quite slow, by the way. And there you are, you're in a hardtop, just like that. Now, when the hardtop is up, I have headroom. Not really hitting the roof. I suppose you could. If you're very tall, you probably will. But you will. If you're very tall in any sports car, you will. In any sporty sort of two-seat convertible car, you're probably going to hit the roof anyway. The cabin is snug, and I kind of like that. Elbow room isn't huge or anything, but that's, again, it's not relevant. This is about fun. This car is about fun. And this, Renault brought this in because, flushed with success from last year, being the top-selling car in Ireland, the Renault Megane, #1 in 2010 in Ireland. And that's down to scrappage, it's down to a lot of factors. The Renault Megane's incredibly well priced. This is also well priced for a folding hardtop. Don't forget, this isn't some sort of a cloth top thing that you can just roll up a little curtain and put in the boot. And on a Saturday night when you park in the town, somebody sticks a knife through it. This is a hardtop. The roof, when it's cold, the roof is cold because the roof is the outside world. Okay, there's no padding between you and the roof. That up there is plastic. Now it's plastic because it needs to be waterproof, okay? As does most of the things in the car, they need to be waterproof. Because obviously if you're driving along on a motorway somewhere, or you're driving along on a big B road and it's fairly busy, pulling over to put that roof up can take a couple of minutes. So they put in they put most of the stuff being plastic, and so you will be able to take a little bit of rain in here. Also the leather seats are necessary. Get them. You can put cloth seats in, as far as I know. But what's cool is wherever you go, you'll be watched. Because it's different, because it's something else. It's not a boring, bog standard sort of Euro box that comes along. And that's the point of Renault. Renault's always had a bit of sportiness about it. We've always had a Renault Sport Clio. We've always had some sporty version of some car that they bring out. Whereas this year they never had the chance. We're too busy building Fluence and Megane and a Grand Megane, which anyone bought, that's very sensible. They were just too busy, and they brought out this instead. So this is Renault's celebration of being funny. Now the chassis in this has been tuned by Renault Sport, and that makes it handle like a housefly. That's not kidding. It does actually handle like a housefly. It flies around corners. In here, equipment-wise, is pretty basic, right? But you do get the necessities. You get a cruise control speed limiter. You get both of those. That's very necessary. You get obviously the roof opening device. You get a radio, which is the basic radio that you'll find in all Renaults. You get the Bluetooth hands-free. You get climate control. It's not dual zone. I don't think you need it, to be honest with you. You get a trip computer thing, tells you more or less everything you need to know about the car. And you also get, of course, the folding hardtop roof. Now this one is a very early production version of the car, and it's actually English because the speedo and things are all in miles per hour, and the wipers are on back to front. I'm not joking when I say that, they wiped the wrong way. There's a Micra in front of me, an O2 silver Micra. She's been driving along for the last 500 metres with her left indicator on and not turning in anywhere. Anyway, you also get electric mirrors, by the way, so you get a good level of equipment for a very small little car. But the point, the whole thing of the Renault Wind is to be different, is a bit of fun and to be different, and that's exactly what it does. It hits the nail on the head on both those counts. It is very different to look at. It is very different to drive it as well, but it's actually, it feels familiar because a lot of the equipment has come straight out of the Clio. It's just been adapted, made to fit in different directions, but the climate control is directly out of the Clio. It looks exactly the same, and so is the radio out of all Renaults. And that's how they keep their prices, the prices kind of low. I love it. I absolutely love the car. I think it's gorgeous to look at, absolutely gorgeous, stunning little car to look at, especially in white. Very unusual for me to like a white car. Normally think of white cars, I think of vans, you know, transits, a caddy. You think of those kind of cars, but In this white colour, it's gorgeous. Now, it's also gorgeous in black, but there is a selection of colours out there. I would advise you to tip along to your Renault dealer. You'll have a wind somewhere around the place for you to test drive. Give it a pop, because if you can get away with, I don't know, sticking the kids into some other car. Hello, children, you're going with your mother today. Why not?
Thank you.